Now this gets real simple. We're just going to lay down 2 coats. We're going to do a first coat, come back over it with a second coat, and then come back and clean it up. I just pull it down to about the size of the aggregate. Maybe just a little heavier than normally. Just like to clean that first coat up as I go, make sure it stays uniformly tight. Beautiful. Now I've got my wall 2 coated and sprayed up. You know, I like to, before it starts to take up, I just kind of come back, wet my trowel down a little bit. Any little high spots I might have, see if I can wet those out, and you'll just see that, just kind of get my trowel marks go away. And one of the things I do, this is a steel trowel, is a stainless steel trowel, and so ways if I overwork it as it starts to take up, I don't start to leave steel marks in it. Any of those that flashed before know that's common in the trade. And all I'm trying to do here is just clean it up, get rid of those trowel marks that I left in there. Now, the less you work it, like you've done now, you'll be fine. The more you work it as it hardens up, and the more marble you're going to get in it, the more texture you're going to show into it. When we finish it up, we're going to show you how to do that a little bit later on how to just lightly sand it, or we're going to show you how to buff it, and it's going to really start to marble out. The more you want it to marble, the more you want to work it at this level. If not, the more you want it monotone, kind of leave a flat color, and don't work it as much. Just finish it up, and it'll be totally smooth when we show you the next step. Now, when we go to sand this and we're going to polish this out, my trowel marks are all this way. So if we want to make sure a random pattern, what we want to start coming back is, like I showed you before, come back in and do different directions. That way it doesn't look like a random, like a pattern going on there. But first I like to come back and just kind of go a couple different ways, take that out. I like to come in and just randomly mismatch out there my wall. Now, I'm not necessarily trying to smooth my wall right now. I'm just trying to get my flow, my texture in it, because my smoothness is going to come from actually when we're going to sand the wall, and it's going to totally go smooth on us. Right now I'm just trying to get it so I don't have lines and stuff in it that are going to show up. Now I like to this looks pretty good. You can actually leave it here and be done with it. Now I see a little nick. Get that nick out and just work it out. Now here's the other key too on the starburst. Your starburst starts showing up, it's called overworking it. When you overwork it, your starburst is going to show up even more. So the less you work it, when you get done, which labor-wise, you want to not have to work as much either. I like to wake up just a little bit, and then I want to come back over it, kind of as it hardens up. Now as my wall starts to take up, kind of feel it, and it's just a little moist still, but nothing going on my hand. I just like to take my wet rag and my stainless steel trowel, and just kind of come back over, because you'll just notice it just puts a nice, kind of smooth. And at this point, this is when, if you really want some really nice marbling or flavor to it, is where you're going to probably put a little more hardness into it and work it. Not just gently take it, go over it. just see how it just kind of smooths out. This will just make for even a nicer wall when we go to finish it. Again, it just depends on the level you want to leave it for the owner on your sample. Again, always do a nice sample up, multiple samples, give them the idea of showing what you want. And this here, what we're trying to do is, you don't necessarily need to take it this far. We're going to show you how easy we can really take it from we left it in this zone. We can leave it and just really turn it totally smooth and tomorrow and show you how nice it will turn out that way. I like to come back and just gently clean up my wall a little bit. Alright, we're back here on day 2 of the day after, and as you can see our wall, it probably doesn't show good up in the camera, but really smooth. As of yesterday, if I would have kept one of more steps, I could have just stayed with it, and I could have really just kept trialing it down more smooth, but really for labor, you don't need to do that. Simply at this step, you can leave it here, it's pretty well smooth and done, or what I like to do, so we're looking for a really smooth wall, is 220 sandpaper. Throw it on there, and it goes by really quick. Roll it down. And immediately just go super smooth. So if you have anything left in it at all, any left rough, it just lightly takes those off, and the wall becomes totally smooth. Now you'll see my wall. If it had anything left over at all, it just takes it down, makes it nice and smooth. That wall can be completely unfinished. Now what we're going to show you is another step, is if you want to take it to more of a marble looking finish, we're simply going to take in and take a polishing pad and just do about the same way we did on the sander. We're just going to lightly polish it. Well, this pad here is a polishing pad that we carry. You can get those from our distribution. Simply put it on there on your mixing your grinding drill. The best ones to use is a variable speed. You want to turn it down nice and slow. We're just going to come back and lightly go over like we did the sander and buff it out. And the more you put into it, the more modeling you're going to get. Then during the wet coat process, as you're putting it on the end, you want to put more water on your trowel, work more areas harder, and it's going to expose more of that. So however I worked it is how this is going to show it now. So really simple steps here. You don't have to put a lot into it, just depending on what you're trying to get on your sample. That shows up in the camera, but you can see the 2 different finishes now. So a nice burnished, polished finish gives you that really true smooth feeling with some deeper color. The more you burnish it, the more darker the color is going to come out. Same thing if you use sealers, use the same thing, but smooth, monolithic, sanded finish, leave it. Or if you really want to bring that true Venetian plaster, there it is. Now here up close, you can see where we burnished the material to where we've lightly just sanded the material. So now you have the 2 different textures that you can get.